Good day, ladies and gents. All right, so today we are starting our 3D notes. We're going to go ahead and jump to page 2. So page 1 will be our hot topics page. But right now we're just going to do density notes. So density is mass over volume, or in other words, density breaks my heart. So D, which is density, equals mass over volume, which if you look at that, that looks like we made a heart and then we cut it. So M and then V, right? Density breaks my heart. That's where it came from. All right, so with that idea, let's talk about volume a little bit. So we're going to talk more about where these equations came from, but basically prism is base area times the height of the shape. So whatever shape the base is times the height. So if the base is a rectangle, then it's length times width, or base times height, right? So length times width times the 3D height. If it's a cylinder, which is a circular prism, meaning the base is a circle, then the base area is pi r squared times the 3D height. For a pyramid, it's 1/3 base area times height. And for sphere, here's the equation, 4/3 pi r cubed. So we will talk more about that later. All right, so, but here are the basic volumes. All right, let's just get started. A block of gold has a mass, so the mass is this, and a volume of this. What is the density of the gold? All right, so density equals mass over volume, right? Okay, now what do we have here? So with that idea, we know that the, so that's just a little bubble thought real quick. Okay, so we know that mass is equal to 9660. We know that the volume is 0.5, and they want to know the density. So I'm going to put a question mark right there. All right, so the equation, D equals mass over volume. Plug in what we know. D, we're still looking for that. Mass is 9660, and volume is 0.5. And that's pretty straightforward. You just divide those numbers. So you take your calculator, 9660 divided by 0.5, or just 0.5, and we get this number. D is equal to 19320. Okay, did we answer the question? Yes. What's the density? So that is our answer. So how do you type in your calculator? Or sorry, how do you type it into the computer? You would just type in the numbers, 19320. Just type in the numbers. Prefer no commas or anything like that. But if you put a comma, that's fine. No spaces. If you put D equals, it's going to be wrong. So just make sure that you just type in the numbers, 19320. And there's your answer. Pretty simple, right? Let's just keep going. All right, so number 2, each side of a cube is, so the sides of the cube are these is this number right here. So, right, so a cube, 3.9 by 3.9 by 3.9. So all of them are 3.9. Just putting it like that. Okay, so what does that give us? That gives us the volume, right? So length times width times height. So that'd be 3.9 times 3.9 times 3.9. 3.9 times 3.9 times 3.9. You put that in the calculator, you get 59.319. Please notice I am not rounding this. While I'm doing my work, I'm going to use every single decimal while I'm doing my work. Very important. All right, so there's the volume. Okay, we also know that the mass is 95.8. Okay, and they said, hey, what's the density? So I'm going to put a question mark right there. All right, so D equals mass over volume. Okay, plug in what you know. I don't know what D is, but mass was 95.8. Volume was 59.319. Oh, that's pretty simple again. You just type that into your calculator. 95.8 divided by 59.319. You put that in the calculator, you get 1.614996881. All right, let's answer the question. Yep, we found the density. Awesome. And they said, ooh, round to nearest hundredth. Now, how many zeros does 100 have? There's two zeros, so we're going 2 decimal places. So the question is, are we staying at 1.61, or what's the number right after that? 1.62. That decision is made by the number after it, which is a 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4, if I take the ball, I would drop it at 4, and if I let go, would it roll back or roll to the next number? It rolled back. So our answer is 1.61. That is our density. Excellent. All right, let's go to number 3. Okay, so next page. Okay, the density of seawater is this. So that's the density. All right, so D equals that crazy number. And double check it. Make sure you didn't drop any zeros or switch any numbers. That happens all the time. A tropical tank measures these dimensions. Okay, so that would be volume. So the dimensions, so length times width times height, right? So 50.8 by 30.5 by 30.5. All right, so put that in the calculator. 50.8 times 30.5 times 30.5, and you get 47256.7. Okay, all right, and they said, what is the mass? So mass equals question mark. All right, so density breaks my heart. Plug in what we know. D is that long decimal. Double check you didn't switch or drop anything. Equals mass over volume. 47256.7. Okay, now we want to solve for the m, right? So m is on top, so we're happy, right? So what are we going to do with these two numbers? We're going to multiply. So to get rid of this is dividing, so we're going to multiply it onto the other side. 0. That big long decimal times 47256.7 is equal to m. So we're just going to multiply those two numbers. So 0.001027 times 47256.7, and I get this big long decimal, 48.5326309 is equal to m. All right, let's make sure we answer the question. They said, what is the mass? Got that. And they said, around to the nearest hundredth. How many zeros does 100 have? 2. So it has 2. So the question is, are we staying at 53 or we're going up to 54? So let's think. So 48.53 or 48.54. That decision is made by the number after it, which is a 2. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2. Okay, if I drop the ball, will it roll back to where I started or roll to the next number? It rolled back. So 48.53 is my number. That's my answer. All right, let's keep going. All right, so number 4. All right, the volume of the ball. So volume equals 768. The density, D, is 3.2. What is the mass? So we're looking for the mass. All right, pretty simple, right? Okay, so density breaks my heart. All right, 3.2 is equal to m, which is what we're looking for, over volume, 768. Oh, it's a little different this time, right? Actually, no, it's the exact same thing. Okay, so we're going to get rid of 768. Okay, so that's pretty easy. It's dividing right now. To get rid of it, we multiply 3.2 times 768 is equal to m. Okay, so this is great. This is, you just multiply again. 3.2 times 768. And we get 2457.6 is equal to m. And they said to round to the nearest tenth if necessary. Oh, it's already there because the tenth has 1 decimal place. We're already there, so that is our answer. Awesome. One more problem, guys. All right, so number 10. Sorry, we're almost at 10 minutes. That's what I was looking at. Number 5. The density. Okay, the density of carbon is this. So D is equal to 1.59. Calculate the volume of this. Now here's the thing. A lot of people are going to go, okay, the volume is this, but no, they said calculate the volume. That's the question. We're looking for the volume. Ooh, tricky little buggers. So what is this number then? If they said calculate the volume, then what is left over for this to be? That would have to be the mass. So the mass is 26400. Okay, that's going to happen to you a couple times. So make sure you know what you're looking for. They said calculate the volume. So then this, what's left over, would have to be the mass. So that's the mass. Tricky little buggers, right? Density equals mass over volume. So 1.59 is equal to 26400 over the volume is what we're looking for. Okay, now the volume's on the bottom, so we're sad. So how are we going to get rid of this? So basically, we're going to switch these two. We're going to multiply volume on this side and then divide. So either you can just straight up switch, or you might have to take the extra step. To get rid of this, I would multiply it onto the other side. So I multiply that down to the other side, right? Multiply by volume, right? Boop, boop. Okay, and then I'm going to divide. 1.59V is equal to 26400. Divide by 1.59 on both sides. Okay, so volume equals those two divided together, divided by each other. Okay, so either you could have done this work, or I could have gone straight from 1.59 equals 26400 equals V, and just straight up switched. So volume equals 26400 divided by 1.59. So notice I can go straight from here to here, or I could have just shown more work. Anyway, okay. All right, so now let's actually divide those. 26400 divided by 1.59. And we get volume is equal to 1,660.3.77358. So notice we're doing all of our decimals while we're doing our work. Now let's see if we have our final answer. They said round to nearest, so find the calculate the volume, which we did. Now round to nearest thousandth. Now how many zeros does 1,000 have? 3. So we're going 3 decimal places. So the question is, are we staying at 16603.773, or are we going to 16603.774? Okay, that decision is made by the number after all of our stuff. A 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I would take the ball, go to 5, drop it, it would roll to the next number. So that is our answer. 0.774. And that's it. All right, so you guys have everything you need. Go ahead, do the next 2 pages. Have a great and awesome day.